Cassidy's he's a cop. He was a good cop, and feels that he's been set up, and he's stuck in prison now for 25 years for a crime he believes he didn't commit. And the movie's basically about him trying to prove his innocence in the most extreme of circumstances. I think any cop who's in jail, you put half those people in there. So it's not a nice life. Plus, I think even if he wasn't a cop, I don't think going to jail is living in a cell for the rest of your life is heaven. So he obviously has formulated a plan in 2 years to break out with the help of his brother. Maybe no one really knows. That becomes clear as the movie goes on, and basically just take his life to the extreme. He doesn't want to go on the run because he might get shot, but he wants to prove his innocence. His dad dies, and so he gets a leave of absence from the prison. And within that, I think he seizes the opportunity to escape, and we have a big crazy car chase through a cemetery, which I think is a bold move because the streets are small, the pathways are small, and it's an interesting kind of action scene. I think the plan is that he kind of went there and, any person that stands on a ledge 200 feet in the air, you're obviously going to believe that they're going to commit suicide. And I think by doing that, it attracts so much attention that out of that he can give attention to the real reason why he's there and the real cause. I think the character of Lydia, she's the main driving force of the movie as far as I'm concerned. I think she's the main focus. She's like the audience. She's thrust into this world where everyone else knows the situation or has been involved in Nick being put in jail, and she's the innocent. And through her eyes, not only can he regain have an honest ear and have someone who fights for him, but I think also that what she lends to it is she allows the audience into this dilemma on a heightened state. And plus, she's like John McClane. That's how I kind of looked at her. She's the John McClane of the piece, and she's thrust into this crazy world, which is very Boise, and she holds her own. She's been involved in a situation where the world and other cops have turned their back on her. So there's an affinity there, but I think it's more a case of, she's if you're going to trust, if you can't trust even your closest friends, you aim for a stranger, and therefore the main kind of emotional thrust of the story is him trying to convince her that no matter what anyone else says or what a jury says, there is an innocence there, and if she can believe his eyes, then that's half the job done. When you first hear the movie, you think it's just a gimmick, but essentially what we're trying to do is you see the expanding circles that one man's fight for freedom, how it ripples. He might just be stuck on the ledge, but that in itself kind of ripples out to everyone else's life, and whether their objective is to help Nick or stop Nick. Just one man in a solitary position kind of really has an effect. You go out on a ledge and it's 200 feet up, so for the first couple of days out there, your experiences are real and they don't go away. The fear doesn't go away, and I don't really like heights myself, so you just kind of tap into it and it helps the scenes roll. But when you're in 8 foot tall, you kind of have to you have like a sense memory of that, I suppose. And then also being on the real ledge, you can get comfortable and quite complacent, and because no matter how high it is, you are nervous, but your body tends to relax. And to generate kind of the feeling that you want an audience to experience. If you're out there for 8 hours, you're obviously going to get comfortable. But to kind of like keep the audiences, give them what they expect, which is this immediate fear that this man can fall off any time. I saw his doco, and I loved it. I think it was one of the best docos I've ever seen. And it's very hard to go from that kind of anarchy to a structured anarchy, which is making a film. Making like a fictitious film. But he handles all the elements. This is a big film, to have as your first film, and he handles them with energy. He gets excited by what he's making, and you kind of have to calm him down sometime and go, otherwise we never get any work done. But I like that. At least it's not a negative energy. It's someone that is enjoying the process, is enjoying learning, and I've always said you're only as good as your other castmates and your director, and I feel safe around them. So hopefully it reflects in what I'm doing.